What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be installing the VTA adapters. That's right, they finally came in. I finally have everything I need to install them. So we're going to be installing them in this video. All right, so stick around for this video. But like always, I want to remind you guys to please continue to smash that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, making sure it's on all so that you get notified when I come out with the next video. As always, I greatly appreciate it. Before we get into the video, I must talk a little bit about these blow-off valves. A little bit of a disclaimer. All right, so everybody calls these valves blow-off valves. They're not technically blow-off valves. They are VTA adapters, vent to air adapters. They sit between the turbo and the recirculation valves, and it creates a little gap so that we can vent to air or make that lovely blow-off valve sound. That's a nice Cayman, man. So I've got the Torque Solutions VTA adapters. I wanted the Wisetacs, but I don't know if you saw my previous video, when I went to order them, they were sold out. A little impatient, so I went around and searched for some alternatives, and I found the Torque Solutions on Vivid Racing's website. Looked at these valves. They were very similar. I mean, very similar to the Wisetac valves. All of these valves for this car are basically very similar. There's some small differences. The differences between the Torque Solutions valves and the Wisetac valves are two main components. Number one, the port on the Wisetac valve is much larger versus the port on the Torque Solutions valve. They're slightly different shape. Torque Solutions valve are smaller. The opening, that is. The opening is just a little smaller. The second difference is the Wisetac valves have 3 ports, while the Torque Solutions valve only have 2 ports. One other thing that I would like to talk about is the tool situation. I thought I had the tools that I needed to get this installed. And I had the valves about a week now, I want to say, a couple of days, and it requires Torx sets, Torx bits. Now, when the valve came, I checked. It's a T27 for the 3 screws on the valve itself. I had that, but I had an adapter, a little small bit. I didn't have the sockets. I had a very small selection, but then I looked under the hood and I saw that it takes E-Torx that I didn't have. So I had to work on getting the sockets. I went to AutoZone, took a short trip to AutoZone. I found that they had Torque sets, and then they had the E-Torx sets, but they didn't have them together. I wanted something that's going to be together. So I went to Harbor Freight, found the same thing. Then I found this Kazaman kit online. It had the E-Torx and the Torx all in one set. So I ordered it, came fast, finally have everything. Now it's time to do this install. So here's a quick look at the set that I picked up. It's pretty decent, I must say. Probably going to open up a lot of new doors for projects with Arrow. And because it's Mercedes, I have to use a lot of the Torx and E-Torx. It's pretty decent. I have for the E-Torx from E4 all the way up to E24. And then from T8 all the way up to T70. And I got some nice adapters here, 1/2 inch, quarter, 3/8, and these are impacts as well. So looking forward to the mini projects with Arrow with this set. All right, to get this job done, you're gonna need the 3" and 6" 3/8 and 1/4 inch extensions, along with the ratchets, followed by the T25, T27, and T30 Torques, and the E10 E-Torques, followed by a pick for the plugs that you have to pull out. All right, so let us go through the game plan for changing these valves. Please excuse my engine bay. I'm not the best at keeping a clean engine bay. This is the cleanest I can get it anyway. All right, so this install is relatively easy, but it can be a little difficult because of my left side or passenger side blow-off valve. The first thing up, I got to take off these covers. Got to take off this cover right here. All right, comes off pretty easy. All right, once I have this off, you can immediately see the driver's side valve right there. If I can get the camera to focus, that is it right there. So that's where the adapter is going to go. This is the driver's side. Now the passenger side is a mission. Most people start and only make videos of them doing the driver's side valve because it is the easiest to get to. I'm going to do both, but first I'm going to start with the driver's side, and then we're going to tackle this passenger side, which is going to involve taking off this coolant reservoir and the intake. So make sure you guys are sticking around, because I am going to do it. I'm going to show it. Not too many people show how to do that one, but I am going to start with the driver's side. So I'm going to start by removing this intake snorkel here, which comes up very easily, I might add. You just pull on it. It has some dowels. It just comes up one-handed, as you can see. Just going to have to put that up top there. Now this is going to give me good visibility. You can see the valves even more. If I could focus in a little bit, you can see the top bolt and the second bolt. Now the third bolt, you just have to continue looking down it. It's there, it's visible, so it doesn't make it as hard. So you have pretty good access. In fact, I'll just see if I can zoom in here to show it to you. Well, this is going to be the third bolt. Right in there, that is the valve, and up there to the left, that is the bottom bolt. I'm probably going to not even unplug the valve. I got pretty good access. I just have to get an extension in there. And I'm even thinking about taking that intake off right there, but I probably won't have to. You know, there's pretty decent space. I think with the extensions, I should be able to get in there. So I'm going to leave that in. And then I'm just going to not unplug the valve. And like I said, get my extensions in there. All right, so the first tool we're going to need is a T30 1/4 inch to get off the stock bolts. It's actually able to get in there better with the longer 1/4 inch extension. All right, so the stock valve is off. All 3 bolts are off. Now I'm not even going to unplug the adapter there because the access is kind of funny. So I'm just going to put the new VTA adapter over it, line up the bolts, and bolt it right back into the housing right here. So a quick note about the difference in the size of the bolts. The one on the right was a stock bolt, and the one on the left came with the Torque Solution adapters. Very important to use the supplied bolts. As you can see, it also came with O-rings, because now that I have the adapters, you need the longer bolt to reach inside of the housing. And these are also T30s. Now, one thing that's going to be really important to do is to properly line up the bolts to the valve and the part with the space where it goes. It only fits one way. I'm just going to line them up and bolt it right back up, and then that will be done. All right, so I was able to get it to line up. All right, well, the first valve is in. As I said, it's very easy. You can see it down there, looking very inconspicuous. One thing I noted is that when I clocked the valve and the adapter correctly, the logo is not up. The only thing that's visible is the one of the ports. I guess they have the logo up against or underneath the turbo outlet, but you can barely see it basically, or tell that I have installed VTA adapters. Very inconspicuous. Hey, I don't mind. I guess if you know what you're looking for, you'll know it's there. And I had to get the 6-inch extension on it to get both of those off. The top and the right one, but to get to the bottom one, I found that I had to use the 3-inch down there. Much easier to get to the bottom one using the 3-inch. So now I'm just going to get started on the other side here now. I know that this is the side that nobody likes to do, for good reason, because you got to take a lot of that stuff off of that reservoir. But once I get it off, I should have good access. So why don't we go right ahead and get started with that side. So first up, just like the other side, we're going to take off these intake snorkels. Look at that. They both just come right up. Rest them right up there. All right. Can see a little bit more. But truth in fact, I still haven't found it. So I got to go looking for it. But I know I got to take these E-sockets off here. This one, that one. There's also one down there. Let's see if I can focus on it. Yeah, that one. And then there's another one under there if you follow the bracket. Right down in there, so I'm pretty sure I got to get to it from going down here somewhere. All right, let me get that. All right, quick update. So I took off the air box, as you can see. It gave me a little more access, put the rag in. Once I took that off, I was able to see the valve, at least one bolt. It's all the way down there, not visible. I also did loosen the bracket here, the coolant reservoir bracket. And up next, I'm going to unplug a few things here and see what else can give me some more access. So with the 3-inch and the 6-inch, I was able to get to the top bolt way down there. Way down there, you can see it right there. My biggest supporter is about to pay me a visit. Queen Savannah.
Where is my father? He parking mad deep. Like, I don't know. This neighborhood mad. Gonna find him. Like, oh, I see my father. I wanna see. He right there. I'll pop up on him. Hold on. Oh, it's gonna take me a minute to walk. Hold on. I know I'm bad. I don't think I got that. Why you lacking? Why you lacking? Why you lacking?
Did you go home yet?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
It's always nice when Savannah visits me while I'm working on Arrow. So I had to unplug quite a few things off of the coolant reservoir after taking the bolts out. Had to unplug this. Had to take off this plug that was on it on this side here. It's like a clip. It's not really a plug, it's a clip. Same thing down there. It's a clip. Unplug that. Unplug this. And that's just to give me a little more mobility with getting access way down there. That's that top bolt right there. Well, bolt number 2 is out. I literally had to remove and unplug everything that is on this reservoir. It gives me a little more movement, and at least I'm able to touch the valve now. But my issue is the third bolt. And also, what I'm nervous about is, once I get it out, how am I going to get these other bolts in? That's the valve right there. You can see that top bolt is out. Got the second bolt out, but I can't find the third one. Well, there is the last bolt. That's the valve, but it's sitting just above the alternator, as you can see there. How am I going to get to that? I don't know. Well, I'm finally able to loosen the bottom bolt of the stock blower valve with the 6-inch extension coming to the side. Good thing is the bolts on these things are not tight at all. So once I get it loose, I can literally take it out by hand. So that's the latest update on getting all of these bolts out. I'll let you know when I get the actual valve out. Well, good news, bad news. I got the third bolt out. You can see the valve is now hanging. See if I can zoom in on it. Yep. You can see the valve is now just hanging there. Now I have to somehow hold the adapter in place while not losing that O-ring. That O-ring is kind of loose. It started coming out and I have to like basically hold it in place. So this is a task, I'm not gonna lie. And to top it all off, my camera's about to die. So I'm not sure what the end of this video is going to look like, but I'm still going to continue on if the camera dies. Now that the valve is out, I just have to line it up and bolt it right back up to the turbo. Now, just in case my camera dies before I can put it all back together, being that the valve is already out, I know my biggest battle is just going to be getting all the bolts tightened again. So just in case I lose battery, I'll just reiterate what I had to do on this side. I basically unbolted the reservoir, which I believe might be for the intercooler. So air to water intercooler. Unbolted there and everything that's attached to it. Unclip it just so that I can have mobility. Just tucked everything away over here. Obviously took off the intake and the air box to the inlet. Stuffed a rag inside of there. Yeah, there was a few things bolted up to this thing on the front. Once I did that, I was able to touch the valve, touch the bolts. Once I was able to touch it, I was able to unbolt it. So basically it's just the intake box, coolant reservoir, everything that's attached to the coolant reservoir, and just basically feeling where the bolts are. You're not going to see them, you're going to have to feel them to take them apart using the 6-inch extension. Surprisingly, the 6-inch extension was the ticket to getting the bottom one out, the very last one. The top one, I had to use the 6-inch and the 3-inch. And then that second one, same, 6-inch and 3-inch. Just the bottom, you should use just the 6-inch to get access to it. So after that, I just have to plug everything back in the reverse order and start making some blow-off valve sounds. Well, alright y'all, well, everything is completed. Both valves are in. As you can see, that one right there is so easy to do, easy to install as well. That's the driver's side. The passenger side, you will not see it because everything is in the way. That intercooler, not intercooler, that's the turbo inlet for the inducer pipe. It's in the way, everything's in the way. So basically, the driver's side, straightforward. For this passenger side, everything that is attached to the coolant reservoir has to come off. Either unplug or unscrew everything that's on there, just so that you have mobility to get access. And even still, after you take off everything off that just allows you to get your hand in there. But what's in the way is the charge pipe and turbo outlet going from the turbo to the intercooler. I wanted to remove that, but that has a bracket that shares with the alternator, and I got the clip out. The clip for it, let me see, can you see it a little bit? That right there, got that clip out. Had a little movement, but again, like I said, the alternator shares a bracket with that pipe as well for the second bolt that's on there, so that made that a big no-no. But in all things with this blow valve on this side, you're not going to see anything. You have to feel to take it out and feel to put it back in once you have decent access. But you know, once it all works out, it sounds pretty good to me. Now it's just time to see how it sounds. So basically, you and I are going to hear what this sounds like for the first time. I'm going to give some driving impressions of it. Not too shabby. like that. I like that. It's not too bad. I give it a an 8, 7.5, 8 out of 10. I think the valve could be, it sounds a little lazy. It doesn't sound as sharp as Bullet was, you know, my Ford Explorer Sport. The sound sounds like the air is coming out slow and the valves are closing slow. Not bad though. I think it could be a little louder. I don't know if I'm being picky or not, but don't get me wrong, it sounds good. But I'm happy. I think it was worth it for as long as it took. I think it was worth it. And the cost, definitely worth it. So I like it. Well, all right, well, that's going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please remember to continue to smash the like button if you like this video, and if you would like to see more videos like this. I have a few more planned, so subscribe to the channel. All right, turn on all post notifications on all, so that YouTube would notify you when I come out with the next one. All right, so please remember to have a blessed day and peace out.